Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Akbar, and I will talk and make a summary about this. My summary is about syntax, or we can say that study of grammar. What is syntax? Syntax is like opens, like words are put together in sequence to express meaning for which no separate word exists. Like none of the human language has a single word that can express a meaning like that expressed in the previous sentence. Lexicon and morphology alone are not sufficient to produce the complex meaning. And meaning distinction people need to make in talk and communication. And let's talk about openness. Openness, like neither morphology nor syntax are closed system, but they are limited resource. And syntax deal with the tools assignable in language for putting words together in sequence. The term of grammar is sometimes used in place of syntax. However, grammar is believed to cover not just syntax but also morphology and often phonology and semantic too. And syntax can be defined as grammar above the word level. So the lexicon and morphology are somewhat open, like to new member or meaning. And syntax give another way to express new meanings, nuance, precisions, links between ideas. And syntax enchants the creativity of expression. Like all of the grammatical systems such as phonology, morphology, and the lexicon are open, but openness is the most silent feature and syntax. And the notion of sentence. The sentence is the large linguistic unit and grammatical structure. It is the unit over which grammatical rules apply, opposite to morpheme being the smallest grammatical unit. And syntax. Syntax is the structure and ordering of component within a sentence. And syntax is a system of principle and rules by which novel sentences are produced and interpreted, and sentence that never been uttered by any speaker or heard by any hearer. And they are sentences that express my new meanings, and sentence that express old meaning in new ways, that can be referred to as creativity in sentence formation. And not every sentence one others or hears is novel, but the speaker do fairly often produce novel sentence. And synthetic rules combine word into paras and paras into sentence. And English is a subject verb object, like we can say like is as VO language. And let's talk about grammatically. Grammatically, it should not be confused with interpretability or meaningfulness. Some grammatical sentences are nonsensical, while some ungrammatical sentences are sensical. And identifying the ungrammatical tell us about the syntax of language. Like example, like the fisherman hung the net of the fence. It's like fisherman hangeth net on fence is not grammatical, but all the speaker of English understand it. And ungrammatical but acceptable is the example is she got games and better late than never and so far so good. And let's talk about syntactic unit. Syntactic unit is are grammatical terms showing unfied behavior that behave as individual words, like words, morphemes, and sentence are syntactic units. Two intermediate size units exist between word and sentence, like parsers and clauses, and these lead to hierarchy of units according to increased size, like morphemes, word, parse, clause into sentence. And let's talk about clause. Clause is sentence come into a variety of types ranging from single morphemes, such as yak, to complex synthetic form. And simple sentence are that one that contain one verb and specify a single event, for instance, like I live on my own. And simple sentence can be joined by coordinating conjunction to make compound sentence, like I found some money and I spent the money on ice cream. And the next is complex sentence can be made by joining simple sentence and the use of conjunction. For example, like I got high marks because I studied hard, like that. And sometimes simple sentence that make complex one need to be modified, like the fisherman hung the net, like the fisherman made the fence last year. And clauses are two types. A simple single morpheme types is containing of word used as an interjection, like these are called minor clause because they have a simple structure. And next we have major clause are either independent or depend, which contain everything of verb and accompanying nouns, referring to an event, to real word or some imaginary word. And the clauses is the most fundamental units in grammar. And let's talk about pairs. A pairs can be defined as a group of words that not contain a subject and verb. It can have one of them but not both. Example, like the green apple under the desk. Very nice. And type of pairs. And pairs can be grouped together into different types according to their internal structure. And most languages subdivide pairs into noun pairs and verb pairs. And let's talk about noun pairs, and we can say like NP is a pairs that contain a noun as it had, like the train, the line truck, the mountain, the farmer. And the next is verb pairs, and we can say Phoebe is a group of words, and morpheme is like change, was chunging, Mike, Chuck, and so on. I'm sorry if my pronunciation is not good and wrong. I'm sorry. And the next is a verb pairs contain a lexical verb, like which convey lexical information, usually with other morphemes. Grammatical or lexical bound or free, like Phoebes refer to the event and P are involved in. Next is prepositional pairs, and we can say PPs are made up of a prepositional and P. Not all language have PPs because they not to be possess preposition. Example like near the lake, over the tree, and after several minutes. Maybe that's all about my syntax summary, and I think maybe it's not enough have the lesson and the lectures. And thank you for for your attention. I'm sorry if I have mistake about my summary and about my pronunciation. And assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.